So Irina and Maxim are starting the broadcast by greeting their viewers from different regions of Russia and from abroad. They are saying hello to New York, to Kiev. To Astana, Italy, Omsk, France, to Saratov, Yekaterinburg, Ivanovo, Zaporozhye, Odessa, to South Ural, Transbaikalia. Irina and Maxim, I dreamt about you today. How to explain this? Dreams are good, probably for changes. Yes, we were in terrestrial space. Hello to Germany, Azerbaijan, Kshtim, that is a very famous city. To Finland, Pukilla. Hello to Perm, Canada, Tashkent, Tallinn, Gdynia, Poland, Sweden, Norway, Odenburg, Donetsk, Kherson. Are there any alien bases in Uzbekistan? Yes, there are. There are 3 large bases: a Ticht base, a Shimor one, and one of the Shore Hierarchy colonies representatives. Hello to Latvia, Riga, Germany, Poland, Los Angeles. We are trying to make the programs that are open enough for you. Hello to Moscow, Turkey. Guys, the only thing is that recently we are receiving attacks on our channel. Misinformation about our channel. And misinformation about our channel was started by the Contactees, who are engaged seriously in the same business. So if you hear something about us somewhere, you should take it the way that you want, by asking your heart. But you should know that they do not like us, because we have one small detail: payment, as your heart tells you. Donation, in other words. We do not have any prices, and in our center there will be no prices for people who ask for our consulting services, exactly in our central office in Voronezh. When it comes to outdoor activities, sometimes we request payment. Why? Because there is a whole team coming with us. You need to pay for travel, accommodation and meals. We have now opened a subscription for a retreat in Lao. It is near Sochi, Krasnodar region, between Gelendzhik and Sochi. There will be a wonderful 5-day retreat, but we go there for 8 days as a group. We have a team of 9 people, including 7 masters. At this retreat, you will be able to see the diversity, a huge number of channels, energies, and even different opinions about the same things. As I sometimes think that things are the same, but in fact different channels see them differently. Irina, do you want to give thanks for the gift? Yes, I do. Now we will be getting 400 people on the live broadcast and we'll start. How do you feel about cosmoenergetics therapies? Cosmoenergetics is excellent. I'm a cosmoenergetics therapist myself. There will be a cosmoenergetics master at the retreat in Lao. This is the Bagirov school right here. Our Cassiopeia Center has united two schools of cosmoenergetics, Bagirov's and Petrov's schools. In our Cassiopeia central office, there will be masters who will also teach and conduct energy practices for the nation. I want to express my sincere gratitude to the person who sent me a gift, a ring with a stone, by mail. Her name is Malgazhdarova Vivi, and she lives in Krasnouselsky village. I hope you are watching me right now. I have read your message and completely agree that it is my stone. You guessed right. Because I have a really strong Jupiter in my natal chart. I remember it. I made my natal chart knowing my date, time and place of birth. Indeed, I have a trine between the Sun and Jupiter. Since you are in astrology, you know what I mean. I am grateful to you from all my heart. I sincerely thank you for this gift and assure you that it is very important for me. I was very happy with this gift of your heart. I am very glad for your attention. Thank you. By the way, the theme of today's live broadcast is Questions to LeeShioney. This is the planet Shimor, the birthplace of Krsna and the father of Krsna. Krsna was the son of an earth woman and a representative of the planet Shimor when these marriages were allowed earlier. Today you can ask all your questions to LeeShioney. Any questions about his energy structure, planet, life, arrangement, anything you're interested in related to the planet Shimor and especially to LeeShioney, one of our mentors and mentors of our project. We'll be now reading questions and answer them. Hello to Shimor. Send my regards to Shimor from Igor to LeeShioney, to the whole planet at once. Is there a photo of LeeShioney? We have a picture of LeeShioney on our page, not a photo. I saw the Shimorians. This picture is very similar in accuracy to the photo. Does the Golden Pyramid neutralize the virus? Do you mean the Golden Pyramid channel? Well, the Golden Pyramid channel in cosmoenergetics creates vibrations that are incompatible with the vital activity of viruses, microbes and other parasites. It can inactivate the virus in the external environment and the human body, increase its humanity. This channel was also studied by Emil Bagirov and his medical laboratory staff, his supporters. It turned out that this channel disinfects space. Is there polygamy on your planet LeeShioney? No, there is not. There is no polygamy on Shimor as well as on Disaru. We do not have a special law that would prohibit such forms of marriage. They are not accepted in our society. although they are not forbidden. But if women and men wanted both, they can live in this marriage. At the same time, it is not accepted in our society for one woman to have many husbands. It is not forbidden by laws, but not accepted. How to get to Krishnaloka? I do not know what it is. It is the level of the spiritual world where Krishna is now and other spirits equal to his level. Krishnaloka is the level of Krishna, the world of Krishna, the planet of Krishna. You can get there when you reach what you call the Krishna state, the Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a state when a person begins to treat others, himself, and the world in the same way as Krishna saw it, through the prism of his consciousness, awareness, and enlightened mind. The enlightened mind is the light of love. Everything he did with love. Krishna told a lot about Arjuna, different levels of yoga, like actions in the material world. LeeShioney, please be shorter because we have a lot of questions. Are there any disabled people born on the planet Shimor? If they are born, what is their fate? How are they treated? There are genetic abnormalities, anomalies due to the wrong division of cells. It can be in any physical body, but we treat them. We help them. We correct their genetics with special micro-robots. They can fix the genetic apparatus at a level where it has not yet been born, and the cells are only at the stage of multiplying. Microrobots, which repair these chromosomes in the cells, are launched into the mother's body. But it is not always possible. There are different mutations. Even if somebody is born with some deviations that will interfere with physical life, we have the whole society taking care of them. It creates the conditions for their full life and spiritual development. And be sure that spiritual psychologists also work with them and find out the reason with their spiritual self why they choose such a body for incarnation. Is it true that on Earth the teachings are rewritten by people on religion? Any religion was founded by one or more teachers who brought light to the world, the light of their knowledge, the light of their love, and were in contact with the spiritual world, or with subtle or humanoid civilizations, or with all of them at the same time. There are such cases. But when they passed their knowledge, they passed on it most often by word, and they wrote it down already by students or students of students. Any religious writing was written at the level of awareness, as understood by the student. And not only that, he who reads it as sacred scripture understands it in his way. Therefore, I would not say about international distortion here. There is different levels of understanding. If any religious egregor, not all people, understand this religion equally and treat others equally, because everybody is at different stages of spiritual development. This is not an intentional distortion, but an inevitable consequence of the difference in people's characters and their understanding. Do you have suicides on your planet? For many years, while I am incarnated on this planet, I haven't heard of a single case when someone had committed suicide. Even if such a thought comes to someone's mind, everyone knows that it will not save him from mental or physical sufferings, because everyone knows about the spiritual life. In our schools, we tell children the theory about the spiritual world. We practice them. We show the astral world and take them there. We pay even more attention to astral travel than the Isla civilization. Do you have plants, animals on the planet? Yes, we have a great variety of trees and animals species. He is now showing me an animal similar to our dinosaurs, with bright green skin. They can walk on their hind paws. And what is their height? They can walk on four paws and on the back paws. And when they walk on the back paws, they are about 5 meters. They live in jungles, in dense forests. Whoa! Are they wild? Can they attack? Or are they herbivores? They are domesticated species. And there are wild ones. No, they are not herbivores. They are predators and fly like birds. We can also domesticate predators. We have dense forests. He's now showing me the leaves are like our ferns, but they're long. Each of these leaves is long and sharp, and they feel like cardboard. I remember I was on Shimor. There are thick forests and intertwined branches at the top. They're dark and nothing can be seen. White ones grow like mushrooms, and they are conical. They grow like half a man, about a meter. They are edible like your mushrooms. If translated into our language, they are called cones. How many races exist on your planet? What is their height? We have 18 races on Shimor, same as yours, 18 nations. They differ in color, height, body structure, proportions. Some of them have a more round head. Some have big eyes and a different nose. Same as yours, all races are different. The main difference is the color of skin, from pale blue to bright purple. We can grow from 1 meter 60 centimeters. There are such small nationalities, up to 2 meters 70 centimeters. That is quite high. I would not say that our languages are different. Each region of Shimor has its dialect, but one will understand the other. A person from Lithuania
thinks that we, human beings, are like sheep for the spiritual world. The spiritual world collects our energy. LeeShioney, are we sheep for the spiritual world, and who do you think cuts off this energy from us? That's an interesting question. I understand the reasons for this question, because not only the human body, but also the body of any humanoid or plasmoid, which is either dense or subtle, emits energy. The body always emits energy in the process of its vital activity. Even if you fail to give energy to any entities or egregores and etc., live alone on your own, do not communicate with anyone, stay aside from contacting anyone. The energy from your body will nevertheless emit, dissipate in space. Why? This is an objective reality of metabolism, which occurs in any body, organic or non-organic, like plasmoid beings. But when speaking of plasmoid beings, it's not metabolism exactly, but the exchange of energy in this body with the environment. It's about energy production. You won't be able to store your energy, just like you won't be able to store the body's heat, which is constantly emitting it 24 hours a day. It's energy too. Even if you shield your body so that heat does not escape from it, your body will overheat and it will suffer. This is a normal process. Now it's about the sheep that are caught. Can this energy be used for some needs of other civilizations? It can be used by some plasmoid civilizations as food, but it is not any energy. It should be charged or defined by your thoughts and feelings. Because plasmoids do not have a habitual source of nutrition, they feed from energy sources. They may also have access to the energy of dense material creatures. As for the spiritual world, there is no such direct relationship between energy and feeding them. There is more of the feeding their ideas. Any spirit has a certain idea, and if you are in favor of this idea, it is happy with your support. This gives him joy and strength to move on, but this is not energy, but his own. It is wrong to see human life as a constant donor of energy, because besides donation, a person also gets the return of other energies. He gets energy in the form of sunlight, air, food, and relationships with other people. He not only gives but also receives. This is called energy exchange. And then the person decides for himself where to use the energy he receives from space. Next question to LeeShioney. What professions do you have? Do you have money, work? Yes, we have money in the form of currency units. They are distributed like your paper money, although they are not made of paper, but of special material. It is not coins or paper money. They are like oval-shaped badges. They are made from a certain form of polymer. And we also have electronic money, just as you have. If a slayer has only electronic money, then we have both. What kind of professions do we have? We have many different professions. Here we resemble the slayer people. We have more art workers and few who work physically, because we have mechanical robots for that. We have a lot of people who travel to space. Many workers on other planets explore the galaxy. We come into contact not only with the inhabitants of Earth, but also with the inhabitants of other planets that have not entered into interstellar union. Many of us are engaged in contacts with plasmoid civilizations. This is our profession, to research through the astral or telepathic contact of these plasmoid civilizations. We have music, paintings, books, and as for technical professions, everything is the same as in the interstellar union. All the production of goods and even such a complex equipment as spacecraft or some kind of devices is done by automated robots, and these robots can reproduce other robots. Do you have any sports activities? Do you exercise? Yes, we exercise, and we believe that the physical body is an important part of the spirit as mind, emotions, spiritual heart, and etc. We believe that lack of care about the physical body is the lack of care about the divine energy, which is present in it, in a dense form. Naturally, sport activities do not cause any harm to our body. We do not choose sports that could damage the body. Do you have sport competitions? We do, but they are held more in the light of love. There is no such an aggressive competition. Our goal is not to win these competitions and not to take pride in somebody's failure. The goal of the competition is to show what you are capable of, and that you are not afraid to be weak or to be wrong. LeeShioney, please tell us the latest and interesting news that you know on Shimor. Actually, I'm now tightly engaged with Earth. I stay with Maxim, in fact, all the time when my body is asleep. I need little time to sleep. In your measure, it is about 3 hours. Apart from Maxim, I also visit Irina and other channelists. By the way, I already have channelists who are looking at me right now. They have now opened a chat and are present there. I visit them and contact them. Therefore, I do not follow galaxy news. And when I return to my physical body, which is on Shimor at the moment, I return to the place that you would call not a sarcophagus, but something like a cave. It is under Shimor, under the ground, under the forest to be exactly. I would call it like a bunker. We have underground floors where a lot of people live, and we have on-ground floors. They are all occupied with people. There is all you need for the living. The bunker I have described is not my home. This is my base where I work. I have a family as well, and I agreed with my family that we would meet in astral mainly. We meet not here on Earth, but in astral space. My family is my parents, my brothers and sisters, my uncles and aunts. I do not have children and wife yet. I have a girlfriend, but we do not have children yet. Yes, if you come to all of your contactees, you will not have time for children. I think you will have children soon, and not only on Shimor. LeeShioney. Did Shimor's civilization take part in the war 12,000 years ago on Earth? It did not participate on Earth. This wave did not reach us in the galaxy, but we participated in the elimination of the consequences. We helped with Sirius. We helped to restore ships of Ashtar and of the teams. We flew to the asteroid belt which was left from the destroyed planet and explored there. We assembled laboratories and instruments which remained there and were needed. On Earth, we helped to restore the microclimate, which was violated by this war. LeeShioney, could you please clarify? The name Shimor, as I understand, is in the Dara language. How do you call Shimor in your language? Yes, Shimor is in the Dara language. In Shimorian, it is I hear it is something like Lianhish or Liahinsh. I hear Lya, Lya, and Nhish. What material is used to build houses on Shimor? What do they look like? And are there supply and sewerage systems like ours? We have different types of houses, multi-story and single-story. There are underground floors. A traditional house is built of polymer materials, which consist of simple carbon, silicon, sulfur, vanadium, such chains or of these elements. We make cubes from these materials, not like your bricks, but flat as squares, brown in color. Then robots build houses out of them. They may be like round towers, and they can also be one story, looking like a mushroom, a long house with a dome on it. It is a roof with a rounded ends going down. Is there a sewer in the house? Do you go to the bathroom, same as we do? Do you mean waste recycling? Shimorians were one of the founders of the Interstellar Union. Now, the whole Interstellar Union uses the same system of recycling, sewerage, with minor details. There are special chemicals, bacteria, and special converters. The substances that are excreted from bodies of living creatures consist of certain elements.
After special treatment, which is carried out in stages, first by special microorganisms, then by chemicals and special radiation, these substances are broken down into consequent elements: a compound of carbon, silicon, copper, and others, which are then used for their intended purpose. So these elements are not thrown into nature. When our experts begin to get acquainted with the solution of such problems on Earth or on a planet that is not included in the interstellar union, our ecologists are usually very surprised to see such an attitude to nature as the representatives of such planets as yours have. Your scientists could have developed such technologies long ago if they were asked to. LeeShioney, do you have water, oceans, seas on a planet? Yes, he's now showing me the southern hemisphere. There is an ocean there. Do you fish? Do you catch fish? Do you have any fish at all? We have fish, but we do not have such a custom to catch it. Our type of food resembles the one on its lair, lacto-vegetarianism. We can eat poultry eggs, but not fish or meat. We do not have such proteins that help digesting fish and meat. Shimorians have only bird eggs. They eat mostly like the Islarians. Only the Islarians can't eat eggs, and both of them can eat milk. There are already special genetic developments that can change their organisms in such a way that they can assimilate certain species like lizards. I've got it. You don't fish and you don't catch fish. Do you know who Yahweh is? Yes, of course. This is the name of the Minnesota inhabitant who came to Abraham and to all his descendants, to Moses and his followers, and later to his descendants. And the person that you know as Christ was embodied in him. He came to form his people on earth, via who he could be embodied. This issue has already been discussed. Who brings different animals to the earth, LeeShioney? What kind of animals? Are the animals living on earth developed here, or have they been brought here? Do you know anything about it? I know where this idea comes from. Many animals were taken out during the war and then brought back. But given the data of the interstellar union, they did not interfere into the evolution process. They did not change their genetics. They were just rescued, that's all. Have there been wars and aggression on Shimor during your evolution? There was such a period, but it was short. It ended long before the spacewalk, since the public on our planet united in a singular thought of purifying the noosphere of the planet from all destructive energies. And those authorities who supported the aggressive tendencies were simply brought out of incarnation. Ah, interesting. What kind of government do you have? What is your political system and world order? We do not have a single person in charge. We have a governing council. The political system is very similar to Islarians. Every city has a council. The representatives of this council gather when they need to solve the problems of the whole planet. We do not have a single leader. Temporary meetings are gathered to solve the issues. What do the elderly people do on Shimor? At what age do they become elderly? Do you actually retire? How long do you live? People of which age do you call the elderly? If to speak in your measures, we live from 650 to 730 years. It is almost like a reptilian from Silbet. Yes, that's right. This is our average age. It is almost just as long as the Earth people lived before the war, 10 times longer. Shimorians are considered old after they turn 500 years. We don't have such a thing as retiring at some certain age. Irina is now explaining who a pensioner is. It is a person who does not work any longer and receives money from government. LeeShioney, do you have something like that? Yes, we do have something similar, but not at a certain age. But when the Shimorian himself realizes that he has exhausted his reserve of vitality and fulfilled his mission, we do not have such strict laws that would regulate it. This application is sent when the Shimorian himself decides to do so. He meets with what you call a social worker, who also has the skills of a spiritual psychologist. They speak, then the social worker connects with the higher self of the elderly and asks a question: have you fulfilled your mission? The Shimorian has already talked to his higher self before this meeting and already asked if he had fulfilled his mission, and only then this agreement happens. Society assumes the obligation to financially support this Shimorian until the end of his physical embodiment, but he can play it back any moment if during the contact with the higher self he realizes that he got a new mission. What is your mission in this incarnation? To promote peace, progress, understanding of peace and light of the soul in the whole galaxy, and now specifically on Earth. Do you pay for housing utilities? What forms of property do you have? What are utilities for housing? I do not understand. When you build a house, who owns the land? It is the council of the planet. And who owns the house which is built? There can be different houses. It can belong to some Shimorian, or it can belong to a city, or a representative of another planet. There are different houses. Is there drinking water in the house?
We have a source. It is not available in all places as you have it. It is extracted from the ground. It is synthesized from reagents. Certain substances are combined and it is synthesized. Some scientists say that on the 3rd of September 2020, a meteorite will fall on Earth and we will not be able to go to the retreating low. Is it true? There is a whole group of extraterrestrial intelligent beings in an interstellar union dealing with meteor security issues for your planet. They are on the base under the ground of Mars, on the base on the Moon, as well as in the outer space of the solar system itself, where the plane of the ecliptic. When an asteroid or a meteorite, which might be dangerous to the planet, will be approaching, it will be seen from afar by these ships, and they will direct the probe there like a ball of silver, which will fly up to this asteroid and direct a gravitational wave on it, which will deflect it. So we have nothing to be afraid of. From 18 to 25 September, we will be able to come to low. Yes, of course, everything is in God's power, in God's hands, and everything that contributes to the spiritual evolution of Earth will take place. LeeShioney, how do you rest? How do the Shimorians rest on your planet? Or do you always work? Yes, of course. The Shimorians have rest after work. They are engaged in another kind of activity. But we do not have vacation in the meaning of complete inactivity. We have a change of activity. So you just don't sunbathe on the sand or lie down. The thing is that we do not understand the rest as inactivity. But even if you go for a swim in the water, you go there and bathe. This is also activity of the physical body, and it is useful for the body. In any case, we do not rest doing nothing, because swimming on a beach is still an activity. You make an effort to go to swim and etc. Rest is not sleeping. For example, listening to music is already an activity of mind. They understand it a little differently. We people of Earth have not yet reached it. We don't perceive rest as brain or body activity. We perceive it as time free from work, which we devote to ourselves. But it is also possible to devote work to ourselves. You can devote any activity, even public service, work at private enterprise, work for yourself, to people, to God, to yourself, or everyone at once. But if you devote to all at once, you will be like a bright light which shines in all directions. LeeShioney, can Earth people live on your planet?
Will your conditions allow them to be there? Yes, we have conditions that make it possible, but not all areas of the planet will be comfortable for a person in terms of temperature. We have a normal temperature from plus 45 to plus 60 degrees Celsius. When we come to Earth, the temperature is lower for us here. Irina and other contactees physically visited our planet. They were brought to places where they felt comfortable. LeeShioney is now asking Irina to tell about this trip. Well, let them read the article about your visit to Shimor. Therefore, will not be wasting time. LeeShioney, do you have same-sex marriages? Let's say boy to a boy or a girl to a girl. We have such marriages on Earth. No, every spirit embodied in a certain body accepts it as a gift of God and lives in accordance with this body purpose. Because he understands that otherwise it will be against nature. For the spirit itself chooses to incarnate in it. And if you return to the memory of the past incarnation, you are going against your own body, to destroy it with your thoughts and emotions. Homosexuality is not only a physical manifestation by sex between same-sex partners. This question is much deeper. It is rejection of the body and destruction of its functions by thoughts. LeeShioney, there is a man who repeats his question probably the 10th time. Where did the 7 steps yoga come from? Do you know by any chance? I know that Patanjali was a very good channeler with plasmoid civilizations. And those asanas and pranayamas that he developed helped him to enter the altered state of consciousness and step up good contact with different kinds of plasmoid civilizations. But at the same time, Patanjali, closer to the end of his life, became even a good channeler with the spiritual world as he increased his vibrations. And some yoga exercises help to contact with the spiritual world, with his guardian angel, with his mentors and angels consultants. How do you make burials on your planet? When Shimorians die, what do you do with the body? We have special equipment that's phrased on its components, but it is not fire. It is a disintegrator. It is placed in a certain chamber and exposes to special radiation. It then disintegrates not into separate organs, but into separate elements. Then these elements are used for the needs of the planet's technology. Do you have guardian angels? All incarnated spirits have them. If the incarnated spirit wishes to go into incarnation with the guardian angel. So just like any incarnated spirit, you have guardian angels, right? Yes, we have. Do you consume alcohol on your planet? Do you have drinks that alter your consciousness? Alcohol or its substitutes, which can cause artificial euphoria. We do not have any prohibition, but there are no such means on sale. because we do not need it, because the clarity of mind is more conducive to happiness. Do you miss the dead, and do you meet with them in the astral space? Yes, we do. If necessary, we meet. And you too meet with the people that are dead. We have a more conscious contact. It doesn't scare anyone. This is a way of sharing experience with each other. A Shimorian can tell his relative whose body is dead about his business on Shimor, in his family, or even news in the galaxy, and listen to news from the spiritual world. This contact is more conscious. Do you miss your relatives that are dead? What do you mean by missing? Well, that's regret that he left this world. Regret that someone has left the material world is a form of disagreement with the decision of his masters and his higher self. So you do not have it. It is a useless emotion which does not do anything positive and prevents you from a correct understanding of spiritual development. What is a dream? What does a person need it for? A dream is the process of separation of the astral body from the physical body at the moment when the physical body temporarily enters a state of relaxation. The astral body must be able to return to the astral world, to a part of the spiritual world, and there to be charged with spiritual energy. And to manifest in the astral world by means of thoughts the experience that he received during the day, to put everything in memory and to process with consciousness the attitude to it. That is, when sleeping, emotions, feelings, thoughts and reactions perceived during the day develop deeper feelings in the astral body. They install in the astral body. While the physical body, while sleeping, regenerates itself. Toxins are removed, energy stored in the mitochondria of cells. These two processes reflect each other. Well, excuse me for the poor sound, we are working on it. Specialists will set up equipment. Guys, we have only 2 minutes left, and we will now choose the last question for today's sleep broadcast. And once again, I would like to remind everyone that we have a retreat in Law from the 18th to the 25th of September. There will be Vlad Pulsar, Master of Cosmoenergetics, a man who deals with the synergy of development. We will have healing practices, spiritual practices, training to get in contact with your higher self, with your masters and mentors. The program is totally amazing. It was given by one of the representatives of the Interstellar Union, and we are now piloting this program. For this purpose, we have invited a huge number of very cool masters to this retreat. Every day will be full of practices, lectures, seminars. We will have meditative practices, physical practices, techniques of going to the astral space, techniques of going to the mentality. And during these 8 days of retreat, we will experience a lot of many of those who are unaware contactees will become aware contactees. and others will be able to apply for training at our school. In our spiritual development center, which will be opened in October. I have almost finished the renovation works. It remains to repair the hostel. Well, we will have a center and a hostel nearby. Accommodation and training in the center and in the hostel will be by donation, as we promised. And we have a big favor to all of you. Please send us links if you see somewhere information about us. A large number of commercial contactees came alive and began to spread a lot of negative information. Therefore, we would like to keep an eye on what they say. Ilya, I see your question, and I have even counted how many times it appeared in this broadcast. Exactly 12 times. How many humanoid civilizations are in the Pleiades system? So, you mean all the civilizations, not just the ones that are in the interstellar union, right? We are interested in the constellation of the Pleiades. How many civilizations belong to the Pleiades system? The ones that are within the limits of this system, these clusters. Well, exactly the ones of the humanoid type, which are part of the interstellar union and galactic federation of light, and which are not part of them. Well, let's analyze. Okay, the total number of civilizations is 38 of humanoid types. 11 of them are members of the Galactic Federation of Light, and 4 of them are in the Interstellar Union. And what if we are talking about subtle metaplasmoid civilizations? Well, there are over 2,000 plasmoid civilizations. So those are the ones who call themselves the Pleiadians, right? Yes, that's right. And they have different density levels there, and they are constantly open up new worlds. Guys, thank you very much to all of you. We love you, we hug you. Please ask your questions, write them to the group, support our group, because your support is very important. The more people learn about us, the more conscious people will awake on this planet, and we will consciously be able to carry with you the light that we are carrying now in the Cassiopeia project. We thank everybody and hug you. I as well thank everyone for being with us and send everyone the light of my love. I send greetings from LeeShioney and Mitkaskaus, who is not with us. He is with another contactee, but he sends his regards to all of you. I will see you all in the next live broadcast. We expect to maintain a regular tradition on Sunday at 8 o'clock. We will try to go on air, even for 5-10 minutes if we have the internet, and if we don't have this opportunity to communicate for a long time. You are welcome to our chat room. We have a chat in the Telegram, in WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Одноклассники, YouTube channel. We have a lot of sources. If you want, come and join us. We are in all possible social networks. Goodbye, everyone. See you later.